Hey everyone, and welcome to the Beyond Life and Fitness podcast. I'm Cheryl Patton.
And I'm Megan Prince.
We started this podcast as a way to connect with more people who are struggling to fit it all in. The workouts, the food, kids, work, and relationships.
We know that we're not perfect, but we hope that through our struggles and our mistakes and our failures and our successes that we can help more people through their challenges and be successful. So if you want some tips and tricks to help you along your journey to be the best version of yourself, then this is it.
Okay, so today we thought we would chat about how to make time when you've got younger kids at home, or maybe you are at the other end of the spectrum and you are an empty nester, or somebody who is retired and never had kids. Well, that doesn't make sense because we're talking about if you had kids and now you're an empty nester. So scratch that one. And so, yeah, sometimes it can be a challenge to find the time to fit in what you want to get done so that you feel, you just used the word centered like a few seconds ago. So I like that word, like centered, grounded. You feel like you have looked after yourself. And I know as women, we tend to put other people first before we will start to look after ourselves until either something medically happens, we get sick, something goes sideways with our health, and then it's like, oh shoot, maybe I should have been looking after myself over these past 10, 15, 20 years and not waiting until something has happened now to my health and now I don't have a choice. Yeah. So we both had, you still have younger kids. I'm kind of phasing out. I've only got one at home out of my three. So I get it. I guess I just had a completely different mindset when my kids were younger. It was never an option for me not to work. I swear my kid, the two older ones, they grew up in the gym daycare.
Right.
And they were there like 4 or 5 times a week.
Right.
Easy.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends I would go when my husband was home from work, and yeah, it was for me, it was a non-negotiable. I made it happen regardless, but I can understand how it can be a challenge to work 8 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever your hours are, come home, either get your workout in before you pick your kids up from daycare without feeling guilty that now your kids have been in the daycare for already 9 hours and you're trying to fit something else in for yourself before picking them up and trying to spend time with them before you put them to bed and see them in the morning for a little bit before dropping them back off to daycare. I get it. I had the luxury, again, I've always worked in a gym setting or in some sort of a fitness facility, so I had the luxury that I could work out on my lunch hour and the gym was right there. I couldn't avoid it. It's I'm in it. But not everybody has that luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
So what are some of your tips for helping to get around that?
So I've been having like a lot of people ask me questions right now, especially because we're homeschooling right now, that I have a lot of moms asking me like, how do you do that? How do you continually stay with your routine and not break it? Or feel like I don't have any time. I feel like I don't have any stuff left that I'm able to like do anything for myself. So I think I was like really trying to put myself back when my 3 kids were like really young. Now they're 10, 12, and 6. So they're a little bit older, but still like young enough that I just was like putting myself back in their shoes of like, oh, I remember when there's diapering days and nap days and naps and diapers and bottles and feeding and all that stuff, and how you're supposed to like try to manage in your head, how are you supposed to like still take care of yourself. So I think I was thinking to myself, what did I do back then that kept me like super consistent of being able to stay in that mindset that it's okay and to not like break promises to myself. So I think like my first one was, yes, I joined a gym that had daycare. So Mobody had a daycare. So that was super helpful to me because my babies, when they were 6 weeks, would go there, and they had a baby room at that time. So there was like 2 babies to 1 person. And usually they would like get her to sleep without me nursing them, or they would call me over the intercom if I had to come and nurse her. So I felt like the gym, it was like 4 or 5 days a week. We would go there, we'd do like an hour and a half. I would shower, and then I would take them swimming, or I'd take them to the library, I would take them home to nap or whatever. I think joining a gym, for me, making it a routine. So like building it into our routine. So like, this is like how every single, like 4 days a week, this is what we're doing. And then we do this and this and this. So I think it was like making that schedule appointment for myself and not breaking it. Like even on those days that I didn't want to go, I still just got up and went. It's not like I lifted super heavy weights all the time. Sometimes I had crappy workouts, but it was like just that we're making time for ourselves. I think like another one when they were like super little is that during nap time is when I would work out. I know some moms are like, get all your stuff done, or that's when you cook, or that's when I meal prep, or that's when I do my laundry or whatever, that I would like really just put them down, and the second they were sleeping, I would already have my gym stuff on and I would be doing my workout. And sometimes I only had 20 minutes, and then I would hear them crying and they would wake up, and then I'd bring them down and I would lay them on the mat, and I would try to like entertain them or something. Once they got a little bit older, I'd put them in their bouncy chair jumper thing, and then they could do that, and I'd give myself like another 15 minutes. But I remember being so much in that space of when you get them down to go to sleep, it's like, you only have 15 or 20 minutes, and I felt so stressed out, and then you'd hear them crying and you'd be so frustrated because you're like, I just need to work out. And you have to get them, and then you try to rock them and put them back to sleep. So I think, again, like during nap time is when I would try to do something, some kind of movement.
And then would you do it here at home? Like I would work out at home too.
At home.
I always had something that I could do at home for sure. You got to have that backup. And now and I think too, with all the post-pandemic stuff, and a lot more people now have stuff in their homes, and to utilize it, even if it is just for 20 minutes, kind of have something written out, or have somebody write something out for you. Maybe a program that's full body, that's 20 minutes, one that's 30 minutes, one that's 40 minutes. So depending on the day, you've got a plan that when that baby goes down, or when you're home for a lunch break and the kids are at school, or whatever the case might be, you have that plan, and so it moves very quickly, and it's you're not thinking, you're not trying to figure out what to do, and then all of a sudden you're out of time.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I know what to do. You know what to do. We know body parts. I could just kill a leg workout in 20 minutes. I'd be fine. But for people that don't know what they're doing, having a set program that you know what you're doing every single day, because that's also accountability to yourself, that I have to do this today. I do legs today. I do upper body today. So it's like when you have little ones and you don't have time to think about putting together a workout, and that's also not your strength or your career, get somebody else to do it for you, so that you have something, a laid out plan for you. Like, it's not silly for you to be like, I need to buy a plan, because buying a plan from somebody that knows what they're doing can do a 20-minute workout for you, and then you can actually see progress, rather than walking around the gym for 20 minutes trying to find machines and whatever. Having like a solid plan, and walk in the gym, get your stuff done, and leave, right? I mean, I'm still like that now. I'm like in the gym, out the gym, like get my stuff done. I don't really love to talk or chat. I just want to do my stuff and get out, right? So I think that is like a super huge one, is making sure that you have a plan, and that you have something that you can stick to, right? And that can totally spill over to the other end of the spectrum. So if you're an empty nester, and now you're trying to, it'll be, I think, easier, because now you're not having to worry about young kids, or daycare drop-offs and pickups, or extracurricular activities, and all the stuff that comes with having younger kids. But I think sometimes where the mind, or where the shift can be, is now you'll start filling up that time that you did all that stuff with your kids now with other things. So either committing to being a part of certain committees or groups that meet every so often, or whatever the case might be. You might volunteer more, which is all great, but you now have the opportunity without any guilt to get your workout done,
so I think it's being able to not fill that void just with other things to do and to still get that workout done, right? And then when you flip it onto the nutrition side of things, because this is kind of where I'm going, like now rather than feeding a family of 5 and then trying to have leftovers for 1 or 2 days, I'm now trying to feed only 3 people and not have leftovers for 4 or 5 days. So trying to shrink those meals is also a challenge. And it took me a few months to kind of to reel that in. And same with my husband, because he likes to cook one nicer meal every weekend. He loves to cook, and I'm like, you have to like now cut this massive roast in half, because now I'm gonna have all these leftovers that I gotta try and figure out something to do, because I hate throwing out food. So yeah, whereas I think when the kids are younger, you're just trying to figure out how to meal plan so that you get whole nutrition meals into everybody and not relying on as much takeout or fast food or just those quick meals. Right?
Yeah, I think meal prepping, I mean, for me, meal prepping was like a huge one, and having a plan of what I was going to eat that day, right? And just knowing, and even now I get up and or the night before, and I make 5 meals for that day, so they're already ready. Sometimes I don't do dinner because I like to have dinner like freshly made for dinner if I'm home. But if not, I just make them all so that I know what I'm eating the next day, so that I have meals planned. So yeah, when you're having little ones, trying to make sure that you're making time to like eat properly. I think it's just that you have to pre-plan, just like you would for
just like your training sessions. Have it written into your day planner, your phone calendar, whatever the case, and write it in as an appointment.
And for me, I think I'm still struggling with like the kids and feeling guilty and the kids not liking time away from them. So now I've been switching my workouts till the morning, but my 6-year-old doesn't like that I'm gone. So there's mommy crying, I want you to be home. I want you to be home when I wake up. I want you to be there. So then I said to her, okay, what sort of things do you need in the morning from me that I can help with? I'm going to the gym because that's important to mommy. But what do you think would help you feel more comfortable, or what do you think we could do in the morning? So we kind of talked about it, and this morning I wrote her a note. I left her an applesauce and a spoon and a water bottle up in my room, and put out a DVD for her so she could put on a movie when I was gone. So then she has that like routine. Okay, mommy's not here. And so when kids know that mommy's going to work out at this certain time and they have a schedule for them, it's key too, right? Because then they're like, if mommy's trying to work out at like 3:00 and then she's trying to work out at 9:00, they're like, what the heck? Like, you know, so it's easier for kids when they know the scheduled time that mommy usually works out, so that they're not coming in and bothering you. They'll get into the schedule too. They'll get into like, okay, this is what mommy works out and this is fine. And sometimes you'll get some pushback, but you're like, no, this is what mommy does because this is what mommy needs to do for her mind and her soul. And I was joking around yesterday and I was like, and I go to the gym so I don't kill you guys. And they're like, hey,
well, that's true.
That's hard that's a big thing that the gym is doing, is not helping you not kill us. I'm like, yeah, it is. But I think I was trying to put myself back in those shoes of those days when I had little kids and people are saying, how do you fit that in? And it's just, you make an appointment, you schedule it, you don't break it to yourself. You join a gym, you get a babysitter. I got a babysitter that was like $5 an hour, and she came here, but I could still be in the house, so I could do a workout, but somebody has the kids to like entertain. It doesn't have to be $20 an hour babysitter, but have somebody that's like here to help you, like just get 20 minutes, get half an hour, get an hour, but then maybe you can have a shower too. So I think those were like huge ones for me, that people are like, I don't have time, but you can if you ask for help, or you have a friend that maybe you want to switch times with, where like you'll take the kids for an hour, I'll take the kids for an hour. If you're at the Boswick Y or something, you go to the library for an hour while I work out, and then you switch, right? So then you have a friend that can like switch off with you. So I think sometimes moms get in this mindset of like, I don't have enough time, or I can't do this because I have kids. But I feel like there's always these little ways that we can manage to do it if that's really what we want. If you really want something,
you can make it happen.
Yeah, like moms will go to all lengths to get pregnant, like in vitro, hormones. Like I've seen my friends go through so many hard procedures in order to have a baby because they wanted it so bad. So you just have to want it, and then you can make and then it happens. Like then you just have to really have your emotional reason why you feel like you need
that deep
to
reason
work out.
why.
That deep reason. If you don't have that deep reason, it's easy to be like, I'm just not going to work out today because the kids are really annoying and I don't feel like it and I'm too tired and
it's
I don't.
Snowing. It's raining.
It's snowing. It's raining. I remember one time when they were really small and there was this huge snowstorm and all the buses were canceled at school. And I think they were like really young. I put them all in their snowsuits and I'm like, that's it. We're walking to the gym because I was like, I am not going. And so we got like a quarter way there and I'm like, oh my God, Meg, what are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous. So there's like, everybody home. I will just work out at home. And that's when I kind of had to like change my mindset and start to be flexible and be like, okay, we can make this happen somehow. It doesn't have to be so rigid.
Yes.
That I had to kind of like let that go a little bit and be like, okay, when we're on vacation, I can work out on the beach, the kids can play, and I can just tell them I'm doing a 20-minute workout or whatever, right? So there's always ways to fit it in.
Totally. And then if you think of even the bigger picture, especially when the kids are younger, right, you're now creating an example.
A huge example.
Right? You're now being an example to them of what is important and how you're making what's important to you happen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In hoping, right, that is going to then wear off onto the kids. So then as they grow up and want to be active, that they will find an activity that they can be active with. It doesn't necessarily always have to be in the gym. It could be basketball, it could be hockey. There's tons of group activities and sports that you can play lifelong. But you're just setting that example as to what it means to look after yourself, both physically and through your nutrition.
Yeah, because I mean, as I grew up, my mom didn't really show us that, where everything was like, you know, she just gave up everything to have kids, and then she's like, that's how it is. And I'm like, no, it's not gonna be like that in my house, because I don't want my girls to grow up and not learn how to take care of themselves, because that's why we are where we are now, is that there's no self-care, because we never were taught that it's okay to take care of yourself. Some people I see doing it, and some people I see not feeling guilty about getting massages and doing stuff. So obviously they had a parent that role modeled that when they were younger, that it was okay to do this stuff, right? So even when my kids beg, don't go work out, I want you to be there in the morning. I get it, honey, but this is something that mommy has to do for herself, and it's very important to me, and mommy is not going to give that up. But when I get home, we'll cuddle and we'll play and I'll be with you all day, but this is something that I need to do for myself. And then I feel like, well, you can't do that when they're 2 or 1.
No. Again, that's when you would have to have a sitter, or you would end up, you know, as you said, you're going to a gym that has a daycare in it. Again, even if you just utilize that for half an hour, right? That's all you need. And yeah, I think it's one of those things that you just figure out a way to make it happen if it is that important to you. To look after your mind, body, and soul after you've had kids.
And I remember one girl would go to Movati, and sometimes she wouldn't even work out, and she's like, I just sat in the steam room. I just paid them, I sat in the steam room, I washed my hair, and I blow dried it. Awesome.
That is self-care, though.
But it's also, you have availability that somebody will take care of your kids. They're playing, they're having fun.
Yeah.
So then don't worry, like, go and do something for yourself. But I was like, oh my God, I wish that I had that mindset. I could just skip my workout and go and sit in a
I'd have to do that after the workout.
I know, and I was like, that's 2 self-care things in one day. I just need to, like, and that's what I've given up. I feel like even when they were younger, was like hair, makeup, and really nice clothing. I didn't care. I don't even care at this point. If I get my workout in, that's what I say to my kids, if I get my workout in, I'm cool all day. I don't even care if I'm just throwing on a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Yeah. Like, there was like, look at your hair, it's sticking up. I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, I don't care because I've done something for myself. That's what rocks my world, right?
And I would totally agree with that, even for myself. Like, we were away for 4 days. I changed my whole workout setup so that when I was gone for those 3 days, I technically didn't miss those 3 days of training. Yeah. They got backed up the week before.
Right, yeah.
So I ended up working out 7 days straight.
Yeah.
Take 3 days off. Yeah. Work out another 2, take now this weekend off, and now I'm back on track.
Right, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, there's ways to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like as a single parent too, it's harder, right? Because you don't have that person to back you up. So yes, there'll be weeks where I'll have my kids Monday to Friday, but then I don't have them Saturday, Sunday. So then I think to myself, okay, why don't you just work out Saturday, Sunday, and then pick 2 other days during the week instead of doing the Monday to Friday? Why does it have to be the Monday and Friday?
Yeah.
Like, pick the days of the week that works best for you. So yes, does it suck working out Saturdays and Sundays? Yes. But if your week is crazy, packed Monday to Friday, then you do like half an hour, 45-minute workouts twice after work or before work, and then do your 2 other days on the weekend. So like, yes, it is a sacrifice, but you can get it in if you just choose those days that work best for your schedule. It doesn't have to be
no. And as we've talked about before, it's the consistency that matters.
Yeah.
So if you consistently work out Saturday and Sundays, you're still going to get results. You're still going to be looking after yourself versus working out one day here. Oh, this week I can now do 3 days. Oh, no, now I'm just back down to 1 day. Oh, this week now is none. If you just stay consistent Saturday and Sunday, those 2 days, and do that for 6 months, a year, whatever the case might be, until there's a shift in your schedule, then maybe you can add a 3rd day in.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because we complain about our life, and then I always just think it's funny because I'm like, you plan your life.
Yes.
Like, yes, I get that we have to work, and yes, I get all these crazy things, but you also have to manage your priorities, like what's important to you. Like working 60 hours a week or making time so that you can feel good about yourself and take care of your health, which is way more important than how much money you make. So we get to choose our life. When people are like, it's so stressful, yeah, it's so hard because you can make hard decisions and you can change it. Because then I keep thinking, oh my gosh, what if you died tomorrow? What if you knew you had 6 months to live? You wouldn't be working, like you wouldn't be doing all those things that you feel like you have to do. You would be making time for the things that matter, and then we forget about all the stuff that matters. And I'm reading like Tuesdays with Maury now, this book where he's like he's dying. It's his last couple months, or I don't even know how many, whatever, but he's like, yeah, people don't realize the things that are the most important until they're actually like dying and on their way out, and then that sucks. So I'm like, yes, I have to stop living like that. So yes, if your life's busy, but you have an ability to change it, and all those things that we said, like nap time, get a sitter, get a gym with daycare, set a schedule so your kids know when you're working out, right? Have a friend that you can exchange times with so that you can go and train. Go really early in the morning if that's like what you have to do, like before your spouse wakes up or whatever. And then, so I think those are all like huge ways you can fit it in.
100%. And then again, as you get older, not now filling up your time that you did everything with your kids with other things just for the sake of keeping busy. Yeah. Right? Now utilize that time to get better. Yeah, because don't they say... looking after yourself, getting better at meal prepping and cooking. Yeah. Yeah, because when they say, like, I'm busier when I'm retired than when I was working. Totally. Oh, my gosh. People say that all the time. My parents say it all the time. And I'm like, what? This is where, like... I know it's hard, and it's going to be hard for me to slow down, too, but I think... that's what I'm really focused on right now is recovery and time and being present and being grateful and all those things. So when I look at that, it doesn't mean speeding up my life. It means slowing stuff down, right? So is there a period of my life where I'm not going to have a lot of money? Probably. But then I'm also not going to look back on that time period in my life where I was like, I couldn't breathe and I was just in survival mode. Because most moms I know are in survival mode. So I'm trying to teach them, like, how do we get out of survival mode? Because living in survival mode sucks. It's not fun. And it's awful. No. Yeah. Yeah. It is. All right. On that note, now you know what to do. Thanks everybody for listening today, and we truly appreciate you. And let us know what your biggest takeaway was today, and if you have any questions you want answered on the podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to automatically receive your episodes and to help us reach more listeners. We would love to connect with you on our socials, either Facebook or Instagram, with links in the show notes. Till next time, keep taking those small steps towards your best life.